Welcome everybody to Chair Yoga. Glad to have you. So we're going to start in a seated position. Let's get a hold of our block and put it on the floor between our ankles. Come forward on the chair so you're not leaning into the backrest. And then take the time to situate yourself on the chair seat so you feel like you're balanced from right to left and front to back. And as you start making contact with that block in between your feet, sort of squeezing your ankles into it, also let that chain come right up through the midline of you and start to pull in the belly a little bit, just so it feels active, that you feel like you've turned a few switches on. We got this firing, we got this on, we got our ankles plugged in. So you just feel a little more purposeful about this posture and feel that imprint of your feet to the ground. And then sort of puff up your chest, lift up, lengthen the spine, and see if you can feel this expansion of your rib cage any amount at all, just any amount that feels, again, more purposeful and then more expansive as a result. Let's turn our palms up on our lap. Close the eyes now and begin to just feel this posture, this opening posture, breathing in, breathing out. Feeling the imprint of the feet, the ankles to the block, the engaged abdominal wall, just noticing all this that you've already done to come into a more mindful state of being. And then let that breath deepen by your awareness to it. I'd love to mention that because I always find it so fascinating after all this time. I still do, with that, just by paying attention to the breath, just by really noticing it, participating with it in some degree, it deepens. It just does that. That's just the result of awareness. And I just find that pretty awesome. Keep your mouth shut if you can, and breathe entirely through the nose if that works for you. If it doesn't, I want you to just let go of that, cue that I just offered up, and breathe in a way that feels natural to you. See if you can kind of pull your chin in towards your throat. So you're just tucking back. So the face isn't coming up, out front too much. It's just drawing your head back in alignment with your spine. And then let's just find that breath where we inhale through the nose and exhale it out with a sigh, like a real cleansing breath. Back to total nostril breathing when you're ready for it. See if you can squeak out every last part of that exhale. And as a matter of fact, counting the breath is really useful. So we kind of have a sense of how long does it take us to inhale, and then how long is the exhale. So that way you can fix it. You can kind of manipulate a little bit and lengthen that exhalation. So why don't you see if you can adapt that breath style where you're just going to count that inhale, see how long it takes you to get there. And then there's a pause usually, and then you exhale it out, count that out, and see if you can extend it at least one or two beyond what the inhale measurement was, if you will. All of this breathing in and out through the nose right now. Palms up if you haven't already done that. Let's go ahead and invite that mudra of receptivity, willingness, surrender, all kinds of ways we can look at that open palm on our lap. And then disregard the numbers that you don't have to continue to count, and just let the breath now surprise you with how it's balanced itself into that deep inhale, but even longer exhalation. You've already created that. Eyes are still closed, so we can continue to just feel this from the inside out and really focus on that. Just feeling how that is on the inside of us. No distraction, no agenda. Feeling the strength of abdominals, by just pulling in a little bit, feeling how much better that feels in the body, more stable. I'm going to dare say, more youthful. And then take a moment to identify for yourself what your intention is for this class. What do you need from yoga? Could be physical, mental, spiritual, a combination of all of that. Something very simple. I have a teacher that I really love that she always encourages us to choose a one word intention, clarity, wisdom, love, expansion, you name it. So stay with this idea of intention for just a few more breaths. And then exhale completely. Go back to inhale through your nose, exhale it out of your mouth like a sigh. As a way of saying, there, I've done it. The intention is set. That's all the job we need to do. Let's open the eyes now. Inhale up, we'll sync up our breath, bring palms together up and overhead. Palms just stay together now. And so if you're finding that lifting all the way up here is just a little much for this opening thing, then maybe you soften it and you bend those elbows quite a bit. So figure out where you are on this very first, expansive lift up here, and just let it be. Palms gently together. Squeeze the block. Make sure your belly feels turned on into the engagement of the abdominal wall. Just notice how your body feels. See if you can relax your neck. Just take a little bend to the side and hold it. Kind of squeeze your arms in towards your head. That will help. That'll keep your spine in alignment. It'll just feel like support. So kind of squeeze your arms up towards your head a little bit more and press your feet to the ground or whatever it is. Your body's going to start cueing you. I don't want to override that inner voice you got going on. So listen to the body. Coming back up to center. Let your shoulders relax. And then find the bend to the side or the lean over to the other side. Keep those arms kind of right up against your head, near your ears. Gently pressing your palms. You don't need to force that. Keep the block in mind. Just be aware of your ankles in the block. Your imprint of your feet to the floor. And gently come back to center. And when we release the palms or hands, we're going to come into a cactus position here. And we're going to close that up and open it back. And let's pause on the closing and squeeze it. We open it back up, and then when we bring our palms and our forearms together, we kind of squeeze that. And then the open releases all that tension. So just feel the difference between real, engagement, that compression, and then that openness. And just kind of see if you can identify the muscles. Not that you have to name them, but you feel them. You're like, oh, you're right up there in those upper arms, and you can feel that. You can feel the strength of your upper body. Palms stay together. See if you can lift up a little bit and hold that. Forearms, palms together, we've lifted up. What can you relax? Keep your neck soft. Notice in your back body. And breathe through that back body. Let your breath shift from this chest thing, that we always focus on, and see if you can use the back side of your lungs and breathe through the back body. 2 or 3 more breaths all the way through. And then when we open that back up, hold that, extend wide now, extend it into the T shape, palms lift up, spread your fingers open wide, stretch the palms of your hands, thumbs are pointing behind you. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's turn our hands so the palms face forward, and then just start finding some movement all the way around, just exploring the sensation in the arms and what muscles start to turn on and then they leave you and you've got something else turning on, just rotating your hands around. So the thumb has made its orbit around, that whole 360 degrees. And just at a pace that you can manage. So don't worry about trying to do it at any particular speed. And we'll meet with the palms, I guess, facing forward. Let's find that diagonal stretch. So check it out that you got your body in a single plane. Your arms are extended in a single plane. I'm going to illustrate that. I'm going to find out for myself. That's the single plane, where you might be a little cockeyed. You're trying to bring yourself back. So you've got yourself in that single plane. If I can adjust here. Take a glance up to the hand that's reaching up. So you're going to turn your head, your neck, you're turning everything. It's not just eyeballs. You want to turn your head, look up to the hand that's reaching up. And then I want you to do some subtle movements of your head, just subtly exploring the range of movement that you feel today in your neck. And so just look around. That maybe you drop your chin way down towards your armpit and then you gently bring it back up and you're just kind of exploring the sensation over here. Keep your breath work up. Don't forget that exhalation. Unwind so you're looking straight ahead again. We're going to drop that top arm down so it's touching between the shoulder, our hands touching between the shoulder blades. And we're going to lift up, and I want you to engage this like you're trying to pull your arm back. You want this arm is going to pull that upper arm back so that you can really stretch your fingers down the back, maybe even a tiny bit more. So this is engaged. We still have that frame around our head, but I think it's a little more active this way, that we're going to try to pull that back and let the fingertips stretch a little deeper down. Now feel your whole back body. Let's breathe into the back again. Use the back of our lungs. Isn't that a concept? Keep your feet imprinting on the ground and keep the ankles feeling that block. Let's exhale completely. When you spring it loose, I want you to take a big sweeping motion and then reset your body. I'm moving around with some shoulder rolls, but you might have something else in mind. So reset your body according to what your body is asking for. Anything at all. And then let's join each other in that extension like a T shape. And rotate around again. Let your thumbs make its way around. Arms are held up at shoulder height as best we can. I have the advantage, I can see myself. I doubt you got your video off, so. That's it, just rotating around. And then we'll meet with the palms facing forward. We're going to find that other diagonal reach and look up now on the other side. So let's get the same idea now. Gently lifting up head, neck, shoulder adjustments so that you can look over here and then start exploring the range of movement and how you might improve that or invite something else in just by your gentle attention. That's movement and exploring breath. You be the judge of how big that movement needs to be. And let's finish the breath we're on. Bring your head back to center, and we're going to drop that hand between the shoulder blades and let the other one grab hold of the elbow. So the same thing applies. We're framing the head, but we're really actively pulling back this and feeling that engagement of that tricep muscle there, and just working it a little bit. Let the fingertips drop a little tiny bit more toward the middle of your back, and we're just working that, feeling the block so you feel the stabilization of your lower body that allows you to do this. Full breath in, full breath out. Good. And when we spring loose, when we disentangle from that, it's a big backstroke. We're going to let the arms slide along the chair's frame all the way back, as far back as we can stretch. So now we've got our chest all puffed up. I want you to exaggerate that. Try to bring your body into an arched back. Yet you're keeping your chin sort of tucked in. So it's not like you're going to lift your head real high, but you're keeping the cervical spine. The neck part is fairly neutral. And the big arch of the back is through the, through the big part of your back, not so much head and neck. Holding that extension. This is, the cow extension. And then let's start softening that, relaxing out of that and rolling into the C-shaped curve. So either hands can extend out in front or, that you just slide them onto your lap, but you're pulling your belly way in, letting your chin drop down deep. So you feel the C-shaped curve of your body taking over. And holding that for a full breath in and out. And keep exaggerating and seeing if we can find the breath in the back body. And then let's come back upright and find the vinyasa. That's the movement through those two poses where we connect our inhale to the extension and our exhale is the C-shaped curve of the flexion. So I want you to see if you can find that breath movement for yourself, the rhythm of your breath. You don't have to match me up. I want you to keep your mind and your eyes on your own experience, arching the back and then rounding it. So you really feel that difference. And what's happening inside you is just wonderful in that the prana, the energy of the body is following that midline energy channel and you're pumping it. It's like you're pumping that as you move like this, bringing it up into the body for your full use. That's where that vitality comes from, where you feel that experience of aliveness. Exhale completely, and then we'll meet with that C-shaped curve. And I want you to trace yourself all the way down. I'm just sliding my hands along my legs till my hands have come to the ground and I'm looking down and underneath the chair. So if you need to adjust your feet, like we often talk about, make sure your knees move with it so you're not bowing yourself out, but you're keeping your knees and ankles in alignment and you're letting your head hang low. Hey, try this. Try to fold yourself so far down that you feel your armpits coming around your knees. See if that's available to you. It's kind of a cool feeling. And then deepen the breath so you feel the belly interacting with your thighs. Breathe as noisy as you need to. Don't worry about nose, mouth. What am I supposed to be doing here? Breathe in the way that just naturally arises and you're just getting at it. Let's grab hold of the block while we're down here. And as we make our way up, slowly but surely, maybe step by step, we'll come back upright and take a pause now to adjust the blood pressure and get caught up with our breath back to an upright position. And we've got the block in your lap. Holding on to that block so that you've got the length of it as the wide, shows like, here's the high side, here's our wide side. We want the wide side out there. Lifting up and dropping it behind your back and lifting up and dropping it behind. So keeping your elbows squeezing a little bit toward the midline as best they can, just rather than this wide stuff. We're just trying to hug in and keep this movement within the frame of our shoulders. Couple more. If you have little weights at home, like 1 pound weights, this would be a nice little deal to do with a weight in each hand. Skip the block. Use weights. Next time you're lifting up, hold it. Let's find that side bend now. So now we've got a nice frame, don't we? We know exactly where our arms are needing to be because we've got that block to sort of measure. It keeps our arms parallel. Plant your feet. Pull the belly in. Breathe through the whole length of your body. Notice where's it active, where you're feeling, response of the body to hold you here. Breathe into that. Come gently back up to center, and when you're ready, you'll go to the other side. So reset or take a pause if you need to. And then back to deepening the breath. I still, as my mantra as a teacher has always been, when you've gotten back to your rhythm of breathing, you're doing good yoga. You've made it. You did the pose. You did what we were doing because you were breathing all the way through. Beautiful. One more full breath. And we come back up and all the way down. I'm going to put the block underneath the chair. And let's try some binding exercise as we cross one leg over the other. So just like you're sitting when you're going to have coffee with a friend. And then, see if you can wrap your foot around your calf. And if you can't, no problem. You can sit the way you started. If you can bind it, it's a way to start encouraging more flexibility of the ankles and getting a little more connected to your body. And then we're going to just extend arms out, kind of reach out, palms open wide, stretching the fingers. When we cross, it's going to be the same side. I've got a left leg crossed, but the top leg, that arm is going to go under. So the arm sweeps under and we bend the elbows and we wrap up. So if you can do the eagle arms, that's how it's done. I'll show it to you one more time. It starts wide open. Top leg means that same side sweeps under, and then we wrap it around, just bending at the elbows and trying to find your palms together. Lifting up and coming down, just to pattern the body. If the wrapped arms are not accessible to you, go back to what we did a moment ago, where we just had elbows and forearms together. And then let's crunch. Let's bring that all the way down and all the way up. Pay attention to how you're managing the weight of your head. Mainly, that is, you're moving, you're paying attention to if there's any strain in your neck, and you know how to fix it. So it's kind of following a midline trail right through this crunch, letting the body just fold through the center. It's a way to squeeze in a little more shoulder work while we're working on abdominal strength. Look how many you've done already. Just watch yourself go here. A couple more. Down and back up, and then let's just disentangle from that. Shake that out. I'm going to say disentangle a little bit so you're not wrapped around, and we got a little bit more freedom of movement in the feet. Let's sync up our breath, inhaling and bringing palms together up here. Exhale, hands at the heart, bow in. Inhale, lift. Excuse me, exhale, twist. So both arms are dropping over to the top leg, whichever is your top leg. That's the one we're coming to. Now we're going to see if we can sit on that back hand. So start working your twist that always starts low and works its way up. See if you can twist and revolve your trunk of your body so that you can get that back hand to slip under the buttocks and you're sitting on your fingers, palm down. So that your shoulder blade has to move back. It's kind of pinned in place. Opens up this pec muscle here. The other hand can be draping alongside your thigh or grabbing hold of the chair. I think your body will probably instruct you quite well on what to do with that other arm. Let's lift up, lengthen the spine, and just stay with our breath through the back body. See if we can go back there and breathe through the back side of our lungs in our twist. We need at least one more full breath cycle. And then we're going to unwind the head. Yeah. Unwind the shoulders and uncross the legs. And then I want you to just stomp them out for a reset. Let's kind of open wide and bring them back into center. Open wide and come back into center. And then it's time to cross the other leg on top. Weaving it around if you can, finding that bound place. And we're kind of making sure we're centered in the chair. So we're balanced. It's a little bit of a shift when you cross your legs. So as we find our eagle arms, we're going to extend the arms open wide. Top leg determines which arm is going to go under. So that's how that'll go. We bend at the elbows and lift up now, interlacing or keeping your hands, palms, your fingers woven together up there. Or that you just bring your elbows and forearms together. The eagle arm is going to lift up for a bit. Just lift it up, stretch it up. And then we'll introduce the crunches. Stay with those crunches. Lifting up, following the midline track. And feeling the movement of your shoulders, as well as the strengthening and toning of your abdominal wall. So you got a lot of sensation going on. Breathe in a way that supports all that. Remember the Ujjayi breath? The yoga breath that sounds noisy, sounds like it's deep within your throat, sounds like the ocean. That might show up naturally. So take advantage of that. Don't try to shut your mouth and make it quieter. Ujjayi breath shows up for a reason. So you use it. Following that midline track as we lift up and crunch down. When you crunch down, where elbows are coming down towards your belly, let's hold that. Squeeze, squeeze everything toward the middle. Pull your belly button way in towards your back, toward the spine. Squeeze, and then soften it and relax. And we're going to just unwind the foot. So it's just, we loosen that up, and then we're going to let the arms float up. Palms are coming together up there overhead. That's our inhale. Exhale here at our heart. Inhale up. Exhale, twist. We'll be going the other way toward the top leg. So it'll be the other way. And we start to move our way into it. Take your time. Use the chair. Don't use the chair. But for sure, you're trying to get your hand, that back hand, back behind you and underneath your buttocks so that you can push the palm of your hand down and feel how that changes what's going on in your shoulder blade. Reset, move around, do it again. All that kind of movement is invited. So don't think once you got in here, you just got to stick with it and grit it out. What if it didn't really quite set up as well and you could do it again and figure it out? Just keep working with it. Go back to that breath that feels like it's in the backside of your lungs. At least your awareness is back there. Exhale completely. One more time. Every last part of that breath comes out. Unwinding the head. We're just breathing regularly, and unwind the shoulders now and come back to a neutral position. So as we uncross the legs, let's start to move them around. I'm going to come a little farther forward on my chair, so I've got a lot of movement with the legs, and it's a little more intentional now. So see if it's, I'm kind of on my toes here. That's how it started. I'm going to try to go with my heels and just feel the difference of toes doing this walking around or the heels doing the walking around. See if you can join me with that. I'm trying to keep my arms out of the picture so that I'm using abdominal strength and, the core strength. But if you're feeling like, I feel like I'm going to just sail right out of that chair, just hold on. You're still going to get lots of benefits. Let's just keep them with this wide angle now and just keep lifting. Puff up your chest. Slow it way down. Hold one. Full breath in and out. Drop that one. Hold the other. Full breath in and out. And back to both feet on the ground. Hands are on our thighs, the fleshy part, not on your knees, and we're going to circle around. As wide a circle this time as you can find. Exploring that. And maybe you're too far forward. I just noticed that. Maybe you're thinking, I got to get my bottom on this chair so I can have some place to go with this. Just adjust. Big circle, and feel that in your back. Feel that in your body, wherever it is you're noticing it most. That's the feedback your body is giving you. There's that conversation. The language of the body is the sensation. Next time you're forward with that circle, tuck your chin in towards your throat. Get your feet really underneath your knees so feel really solid with your feet and your legs. And let's spread our wings. Pull the belly way in. Hold it there for your whole breath. So the inhale, the exhale, it's got your belly pulled in no matter what. See if you can draw your arms back a little bit more. It's like they're almost migrating toward each other. Stomp your feet into the ground. Full breath in and out. And then when we disentangle, feel the neutrality of that as you come forward. Let your arms open into that T and lift all the way up. Let's find that Y shape. So we've got our arms extended, palms facing each other, but they're wide in this Y shape. Full breath in and out. Keep your feet grounded. You really feel strong and stable with the lower body. Let's explore some of those other letters like that W, where we bring the elbows toward the waist and we pull the arms back. So then you're feeling this arch of the back body as the elbows squeeze in toward the waistline. Very active, this W is. Let's open into the T. And then drop your elbows way in toward the waist and keep your forearms up enough to create this L shape with your arms. Squeeze your elbows in towards your waist and then pay attention to what your body needs here. Listen to your neck, how your back body, how your shoulder blades are behaving. Just find your breath in relation to all of that. And release back to a neutral position. Hands are going to come here up onto the shoulders, and let's take a dip from side to side. Either touching the thigh as a good place as a meeting ground there. But if your body has the flexibility to go beyond that, a deeper bend, just go past that. Pay attention to how your head and neck are responding to this so that you don't end up with some problems there by holding tension in your neck in an unhealthy way. Let's pick up the pace or doubling it up so that As you're coming down, you add another one. Like I said, and maybe you're picking up the pace also. So find your own little design with this. So stay with it. Feel the aliveness in your body, this vitality that you are stoking by moving, breathing, strengthening. Last one on each side. And let's come back to a neutral position and just shake that all out. As we bring our feet back to center, let's cross one leg over the other into that, they call this a figure 4 position. It's a nice hip opener. The standing leg is the one that stayed put. So make sure that's in a right angle. You don't want to have that foot too far out or tucked too far in. It's at a right angle as a better source of stability. And then we're going to kind of massage that cross leg so that you're trying to push that thigh down, maybe give your knee some love. This isn't the probably the most flexible part of your knee is in this position, probably not. So we're just giving that some love. Hands to the body calms the nervous system. So that first layer of defense you've already taken care of by bringing your loving awareness into your body. And that's just not woo-woo talk. That is what's happening. That is what's happening. Hands are going to drape over the shin now. Lift up. So hands have come here. So that's, for most of us, that's brought us a bit forward just by getting our hands here. So you might be feeling plenty of stretch just because you got your hands over your shin. So stay strong with keeping your body as lengthened as possible and without bending, creating a little seam here or a little hinge in the middle. I want to see if you could keep that lifted. But then the goal would be to see about if our breath invites more folding. And this is where it's really helpful. If you can keep your belly pulled in towards your spine, so you've narrowed this space between your belly button and your spine, just keeping it super engaged, feel super skinny in there. As you continue to breathe in and out with that navel pulled way in, watch what happens with your range of movement in this fold. If you can do that, maintain that with your belly. Now, don't forget to breathe all the way through. Like hold in my belly. How many instructions do I have to figure out here? Still breathe all in and out. Every once in a while, if you think of it, pull that belly in, breathing out. It's always going to be the best fuel. Just let your upper body, the weight of your upper body, come forward. Feeling just have you shifted your weight into this fold, and then you're willing to experience that as a sensation in your hip, in your thigh, wherever it is you're feeling that. One more full breath cycle. Exhale it out like, ah. Hands are going to come back to the legs and bring yourself upright. Palms come together in this prayer position. And we're going to bring our elbow. How do I do that? Oh, yeah. It's an elbow to the inner side of your knee and the inner part of your ankle. This one can be done standing up. Yeah, I know. Let's come forward. I got a better idea. Let's come forward. So we got a little more movement here. And then we come into this. So we're folding deeper. And this, see how you can push your knee down a little bit? Good. Let's come back up. And we uncross that leg, kick it out, shake that out. And then we're going to move to the other side. So crossing over, making sure your bottom is well supported on your chair, that your standing leg has that right angle, it's well positioned, and we start the massaging. I'm trying to push that down and give your body some love. Always warrants the comment, your sides might be different. Mine are very different. And then begin to lift and lengthen, get your body upright, centered, and we drape the arms across that shin. So again, you might be feeling plenty of sensation. Thank you very much. This is my pose. Find your breath. And you pull the belly in. And you're back to breathing, keeping the belly engaged, and you're letting the body weight come forward. You're just allowing a little deeper fold, a little more sensation, maybe a lot more sensation. If you can be willing and open to breathe your way into that sensation. You'll know the difference between pain that says red light, get out of this. It's a burning, fire alarm. But that stretch of the hip, that stretch that feels like you're saying, well, you don't like it much. That kind of pain, that's one worth exploring. See if you can breathe into that experience. Let your body weight come forward. Be brave enough to exhale it all the way out. Keep your belly pulled in. I'm telling you, that right there is a super helpful strategy. And there's a green light in that. One more full breath cycle all the way through. And we're coming back up. I'm going to scoot forward again. Somehow that seemed better. And I want to get us into this posture here. Elbow to the inner knee and to the ankle. And kind of press that down. Lift up the chest. The standing leg, I just feel in myself pulling away from the middle. I can feel that bow leg, so I'm going to keep that standing leg drawing in. One more breath here. We'll come back up and out. Feet to the ground, shake and shake. Tuck your feet underneath the chair and pop yourself up. A couple times to come up and out of the chair. Balance your way up, pay attention, keep your eyes open. Let's grab hold of our block, come back up. We're going to meet in a standing position in relation to your chair, up to you. So you could be in front of your chair maybe. I'm just trying to get in a position where I'm better seen. So how you position yourself near your chair is up to you. Let's take a wide stance, just so we feel like we've got a wider base. And then we're going to just get the arms movement going on here by tossing that block around, all the way around. Coming, maybe into this T. Maybe that would be where we think of as our foundational pose, is that we come to that T around and we've got a nice buoyancy in the knees, nice and strong on our foundation. Let's change the direction of that. So kind of handing off differently. We talk about greasing those shoulders, right? We're just moving, greasing them up. And when we get our shoulders greased up, it helps our neck. Last time, when you come to bring it behind you now, see if you can get both hands on the block any way you can. Any way you can, both hands hold the block back there. And pull it away from your back body. Find a nice, let's bring our feet together a little bit more so we're more mountain-like in our pose. The stability of that hips distance apart. And we're pulling that block away from the back body one more time. So a full breath in and a full breath out. And release that. Keep hold of your block. Just do the reset your body might need. Matter of fact, let's get our head in motion. Just take a moment now to just tilt your head ear towards shoulder. Standing in a way that just feels purposeful. You're paying attention to it. Breathe in, breathe out. Heaviness of your head. You're willing to let it stretch your neck. You're surrendering this, not protecting, but allowing. Very slowly, you'll come back up. And then we're going the other way. As much as you can, it's a side bend, a side movement instead of forward or back. Trying to go ear toward shoulder. Heaviness of your head's doing it all for you. You have to just allow it. Exhale it out. And come back up. We got the block in our hands now, holding it in this wide position. We did this when we were seated. So if you can't see the block, that's okay. It's up where our arms are parallel. And we're doing that folding. But I do want you to quicken the pace a little bit. So find a breath rhythm that works for you. Keep a buoyancy in your knees. Do not lock your knees. Purposefully do not lock your knees. Keep your arms as straight as you can. Kind of hold on to the block with a little more intention, a little more pressure. And then this can be done too with some movements bouncing a little bit. Really nice for the oblique muscles, toning those, strengthening those, side waist, if you will. But you know your pace, you know your body. So if you say that's all well and good, but I'm going to today, I know that I need to take it at a pace that works a little bit slower. You and your body have got to work all that out. One more on each side. And when we come back up, we're going to drop that block behind the back and back up. So it just comes behind the head and back up. Now stretch that block like you're trying to touch the ceiling with it. It's just feather light. Mine is. I hope yours is too. It's just feather light, and you're just lifting it up, trying to stretch like a full body stretch now by lifting that block toward the ceiling and with everything you got. Full breath in and out. Reaching up there. And let's gently come down, bring that block to the floor and let it be. Setting yourself up now with our back of the chair, the high side of the chair facing you. Hands come there. We start walking away from that into that L-shaped bend. That L-shaped fold. But I do want to bend the knees and straighten them as a way to come into this gently. Bend the knees and then straighten them up. The back of the body is like a tabletop. Keep your chin tucked in towards your throat. You don't need to look at your chair. Make sure your feet are straight. They're parallel to each other. How wide apart they are, I'm going to let you decide how that would be best. Hips distance apart keeps you within the frame of that. That's a good alignment. But if you need a bigger foundation than that for now, a little wider foundation gives you more access to bending the knees. Choose a wider foundation. Squat and hold. So the knees are bent. We squat and hold. If you can get your hands off the chair at this point and palms come together, great. If a chair is just going to be better for you, maybe one hand on the chair. Let's get both hands on the thighs, everybody. Both hands on the thighs. We got our knees bent now. We're straightening up, coming all the way up. Let's take a pause here. Breathe in, breathe out. Catch up with the breathing. Any reset, any movement your body needs, be doing that. And then let's flip the chair around so we're looking at the seat of the chair. Palms are going to come to the seat of the chair as we come back into a downward dog. This time it does matter. We want our feet in hips distance apart. So let's just say no wider than the chair legs. Now plant your heels and stretch that real firm, connection to the ground, not only the heels. Now stretch it right into the toes as well. So you feel the surface of your feet as a strong foundation for you to pull your buttocks back, the thigh bones back. Soften your face. Gentle touch with your hands on the chair, as gentle as you can manage. Let your legs do the work. Feel your feet pressing down, including your toes. And then notice where that is in your legs. When you press your toes down, where do you feel that in your legs? Deepen your breath. Chin is tucked in toward the throat. We're going to start walking ourselves up toward the chair. Take your time. Come up nice and easy. All the way up to standing. And we'll find our mountain pose where our palms have facing forward now, deepening the breath. Close the eyes if you haven't done it already. Breathe through your back body. Pull your shoulder blades toward each other a little bit. And breathe into that on your back. Good. And let's flutter the eyes open. Take another breath to get used to that. Get back to having eyes open, and we're going to sync up the breath. Inhale, palms come together up and overhead. Exhale, hands come to the heart, we bow into ourselves. Inhale, back up. Exhale, go wide now and interlacing the hands behind the back, pulling the hands back and away from the back body. Interlaced hands. Now, how can you challenge yourself further? Also include putting your palms together. So fingers is one thing. See if you can actually squeeze your palms together. Just a way to challenge yourself. So it's just one of the variations you might explore. We're going to bend the knees quite a bit. I'm giving you a side view. I hope that's helpful. So it's a little bend of the knees, arms pulling back. Pull that belly in as we come into a forward fold. So the head is folded forward. Knuckles are reaching up. Boy, bringing your palms together here is a challenge, isn't it? So seeing about that. Head hangs low like traction for your neck. Deepen the breath. Definitely a bend in your knees. Let's release the hands like in the arms like ragdoll arms. Feel the floor beneath your hands. So come squat enough that you can bring your hands to the floor. Then we're going to jump those hands to the shins, and we're starting to lift ourselves up. Walk your hands to the thighs. Come up nice and easy. Back to our mountain pose. Palms face forward. Feet are parallel to one another. Imagine your block is between your thighs and you're squeezing that. Full breath in, full breath out. Eyes are open. Just catching up with your breath, feeling the strength of your body, feel the confidence of your strong body. Great. Let's make our way to our chair, to our Shavasana. So as we bring ourselves back to the chair, we're going to sit into it and back into it. So of course, we're coming back to lean into the backrest. And let your body relax into this security that this offers, this stability this offers. And let that be just kind of symbolic, that you just feel that, you're supported. And you're going to allow that, rest into it. Feel the softness of the shoulders, all the things that you were trying to engage and strengthen. You're now giving all of that a rest. It's not lazy. It's a choice of now tending the body with this peacefulness, this restfulness, and feeling how your breath has changed texture. See if you can breathe with your mouth closed. And if not, don't worry. See if you can hear your breath. That it feels so still within you that your breath, you can hear it. Soften your tongue, the cheek muscles, the jaw, the muscles that surround your eyes. Soften the skin of your neck and the back. and in the front at your throat. Feel the heaviness of your arms as they are resting. You just invite and continue to support this idea of resting. Softening the hands, each of the fingers. Feeling a softness in the skin around your ankles and feet, and all of your toes. And just stay resting, being held and supported right here, right now. Let's see. So, this reading today starts with a quote from Henry David Thoreau. I came into this world not chiefly to make this a good place to live in, but to live in it, be it good or bad. To live is to open ourselves to possibility, to rule out nothing. There is no way we can spare ourselves or those we love the pains of living because they are inseparable from the joys. How grandiose we are when we think we can save the world. All we can do, and it's quite a lot, is to live the best way we can, achieving a balance amid the forces that pull on us: pleasure, responsibility, power, love. If we can live so that we respond to all of them, rule out none of them, and yet enslave ourselves to none, we will have the best the world can give. One quality all great people seem to share is humor, the capacity to see our struggles and triumphs with detachment. Not that our life is unimportant, but that it's only a part of the huge web of life on this planet. If we can keep our lives in balance, we won't get puffed up by any little triumph or squashed by a defeat. We'll keep on with our lives, confident that we're doing our best. Let me not forget, my chief business in life is living. Let's take a big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth with a big sigh. One more like that. Keep your eyes closed. Just sigh it out. Let's introduce some movement in the body now. Moving your hands, your feet, and fluttering the eyes open. Let's come forward on the chair a little bit. So you can come away from the backrest, and I want you to, this time, dropping your chin towards your chest. We're drawing a circle around, a big, wide, mindfully drawn circle in service of your neck, moving, finding more range, more comfortable range of movement by your loving awareness to it. Draw one more circle for sure, the same direction, and then we'll change the direction of the circle. Pay attention to this new sensation as you go the other way. Don't get complacent and feel like you know what this is all about. Go back to full awareness of the new circle. Good. And then we'll come back to center. Let's sync up the breath. Inhale as we bring our palms together up and overhead. Exhale as we bring our hands to our heart and we bow into ourselves. Inhale, back up. Exhale, go wide. Palms will come together at the heart center as we bow into ourselves. We bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having us. Namaste.
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 Thank you.